Friday's Wales at 6. The surge in skinny jabs. But how will these injections define Christmas traditions? Are GPs overwhelmed, and are they actually safe? Also on the programme, we're out on patrol with the force putting more bobbies on the beat this festive season. Plus, full steam ahead, a doubling of train services in the northeast to move more of us from car to carriage.
And join us for a bit of light in the dark season as Powys Castle illuminates its winter wonderland. You too can do this at home, as long as you own a big castle.
Good evening. It's been one of the biggest health trends of the year, so-called skinny jabs. Drugs like Mounjaro and Wegovy have helped many people lose significant amounts of weight. But with NHS access limited, most patients are turning to private providers. And tonight, GPs say the current system is unsatisfactory. They may not be prescribing the drugs themselves, but say hours of their time is being taken up every week dealing with paperwork for private companies. Our national correspondent Rob Osborne has been investigating.
Christmas is coming, and it won't just be the goose getting fat. On average, we Brits eat around 6,000 calories on the big day itself. But maybe this year will be different, as millions of people are on these, the so-called skinny jabs, where your appetite is suppressed and you feel fuller for longer. Wendy's lost around 6 stone on them. They've changed everything. So if you could describe your jab journey in a sentence, what would you say?
They've completely changed my life. They've transformed my diet, my exercise, my motivation.
You're a new person.
Complete new person with a whole new wardrobe to go with it.
Because the NHS limits who gets these jabs, most patients go privately. But that doesn't mean GPs are not involved, because those private clinics will ask NHS doctors whether the patient is suitable.
I'm professionally fairly duty-bound to take a look at that patient's records and have a look and just make sure that they should be getting that medication. And in the last week here, for instance, we've seen 70 letters from clinics with individual patients who have been dosed by that clinic.
70 in just 1 week?
In 1 week.
So are we in a place where you as a GP are satisfied in that you can't prescribe it to most people who come and sit here, yet your time is taken up dealing with private firms where people do go? There's something seems amiss there.
I think it's pretty unsatisfactory at the minute, let alone the fact that also if you want to benefit from this medication, you can only do so if you can afford it.
This year the price for some products has shot up. Wendy pays for hers privately and is worried she may not be able to much longer.
Fears coming off the jab, definitely weight gain, and then that will impact my fitness levels, my motivation, my mental health, and I don't want to be back in that place again.
The Welsh Government say arrangements for wider access to weight loss medications beyond those with the most urgent clinical need are being considered. But for many, this may be the last Christmas, as the cost means they'll soon be out of reach.
Well, Rob joins me in the studio now, and this is what everyone's been talking about this year, isn't it?
Go to any coffee shop, go to any bar, go to any gathering, and who's on the weight loss jabs and who's not on the weight loss jabs is a topic of conversation I think a lot of people have had this year. I think what's really important is that to understand there's a lot of issues going on here right now. The cost is one thing, but it's also what else this medication may be doing to us. Let's listen to an expert dietitian who has a view.
There's a condition that can develop very quickly and with a lot of people called sarcopenic obesity. That means that you are losing a very high percentage of muscle mass. Therefore, you're more at risk of chronic conditions.
Apologies, we're having some issues with the microphone, but we'll hopefully come back to Rob. For now, 3 people have died and another has been left seriously injured after a crash in Powys. Powys police were called to Sned near the Shropshire border at around 10 to 5 yesterday afternoon following reports of a serious road collision. Officers say the family have been informed and an investigation is ongoing. A man accused of murdering a teenage girl in Blackwood will be assessed by doctors to see if he's fit to plead. 17-year-old Lainey Williams was killed in Kevin Forest in November and a 38-year-old woman was seriously injured. 18-year-old Cameron Cheng is charged with murder and attempted murder. 2 teenagers have appeared in court accused of targeting a mosque and a Jewish cemetery in Cardiff. Rhys Edwards and Talan Gethin Vincent, both aged 18, appeared at the Old Bailey by video link. They're charged with the preparation of acts of terrorism. A provisional 3-week trial at Bristol Crown Court's been set for 2027. Next tonight, claims that thousands of patients in West Wales are struggling to get appointments with their GPs. Residents and local politicians in Pembroke and Pembroke Dock say more needs to be done at the Argyll Medical Group, which is the 2nd largest GP surgery in Wales. Lewis Rhys-Jones has more.
This surgery has become a sore subject in and around Pembroke Dock. It has over 22,000 registered patients, but many of them say it's a fight to be seen. Jerry says he felt very unwell a couple of months ago, and after having no luck over the phone, he went into the surgery insisting that he needed a checkup.
They gave me an appointment for 2 weeks' time or something. I said, that's no good, I'm not very well. And they said, well, as I was talking with the receptionist and getting nowhere, just pure luck. A receptionist shouted across that someone had phoned in to cancel that day.
After being seen by the GP, he was admitted into hospital the following day. While Jerry has no criticism of the healthcare provided, he says the challenge of securing an appointment continues to be an anxiety.
It's baked into people's thinking now. They're not going to get an appointment, and if they do, it's like winning the lottery almost. Of course you worry, but I mean, what do? That's the only gateway you've got to go further. And if you can't get past that gate, then what?
Maria was a member of the patient participation group until it was shut down just over a year ago.
When we started asking some really pertinent questions, we just got an email saying that they no longer required PPG and that they were going to use their resources elsewhere. But we didn't use any resources. We just met in a room and then we went home when the surgery closed.
Local politicians say they're grateful to the staff working under immense pressure, but equally want to address what's been described as a growing GP crisis in Pembrokeshire.
What I really want to see is transparency, engagement, a willingness for us all to come together and say, look, how can we improve this situation for what is one of the largest surgeries in Wales, which only has 9 GPs dealing with that 22,000 registered patients.
They're often limited resources over a vast area, so it's important that they're supported by proper administration, and that's what I think is failing here, is the lack of administration by management, and that's an operational issue on the ground from the health board and from the GP surgery.
Hywel Dda University Health Board have said in a statement, we work closely with the Argyll Medical Group to ensure that patients can see their doctor when they need to. We are aware that some patients are waiting longer than anyone would like and are looking at ways on how we can improve this. Argyll is the largest GP practice in the Hywel Dda area and provides over 10,000 appointments a month, seeing roughly 400 people every day. For now, all patients can do is wait and hope that their concerns will be heard. Lewis Rhys-Jones, ITV News, Pembroke Dock.
As the Christmas party season kicks off, South Wales Police are launching what they call a winter of action with extra patrols and new technology to keep people safe. For officers on the beat, these can be the busiest and often most challenging weeks of the year, with bigger crowds, late-night events and a rise in festive crime. Well, our reporter Issa Farfor is in Cardiff Bay for us tonight. And Issa, a busy night ahead and one of many by the sounds of it.
Yes, absolutely, Katie. It's a Friday night and it's getting busy here in Cardiff Bay. Probably you can see behind me. And it's only going to get busier over the next few weeks as people head out for Christmas parties. Of course, more nights out usually mean more drinking and sometimes more trouble in the city centre. So South Wales police are stepping things up and they showed me earlier what they are doing to keep people safe. Christmas season is one of the busiest and most challenging times of the year. Crowds rise, nights run later, and crime often follows. So I've headed to a bar in town to ask business owners whether Cardiff still feels safe on a night out.
I absolutely know that Cardiff is a very, very safe place to go out. We've had the Purple Flag accreditation year after year, which is the mark of a safe nighttime economy. I speak to all of the businesses 2 or 3 times a year, and we speak on a regular basis about keeping our businesses safe for customers and also looking out for the wider community.
So Gareth now, he's one of our officers, he's on a test watch list.
They call it their winter of action, and it's aimed at keeping people safe. Today, South Wales Police invited us out to show how they are tackling trouble in the city centre.
When he walks through, when he comes into the zone of the camera, and then that creates the alert then. So we would see now, so Gareth's on a blue watch list because that's our test watch list.
And this van is one of the tools they say makes a real difference. Mobile facial recognition, used to find people wanted for serious offences.
And his members of the public will walk through the areas where those cameras are deployed. The faces will be scanned, compared against that watch list, and in 0.2 of a second, the computer will make the decision, is that a good match or not?
Some people will be worried about their privacy. What would you like to say on that?
When we deploy, we put up signage around the areas where we're deployed in. We also publicise it on social media, on our website for people. And then there are officers in and around the area as well who will have information. All of our documents are online, so they can access them beforehand, so they can understand what it means and what it's about if they were going about their daily business.
The force says it's focusing on the basics. More patrols, tighter checks on problem areas, and closer work with shops dealing with theft.
Well, every year in December, Cardiff City Centre sees a large increase in footfall, both a day and a nighttime economy. So in order to keep the public safe, we are putting additional policing resources onto the streets of the city centre, both in uniform and in plain clothes, in order to take a proactive approach to addressing crime and antisocial behaviour.
Back in the bar, it's an exciting time for businesses gearing up for the busiest and best time of the year.
You know, that time in the middle of the year when the nights go dark, but we brighten things up really with the nighttime economy.
And with thousands expected to pour into Cardiff over the next few weeks, officers urging people to look out for each other and enjoy the season with a little more peace of mind. Now, with so many parties happening over the next few weeks, police say safety doesn't just mean tackling trouble in town. Drink driving is a major concern at this time of year too. Only recently we covered the designated driver scheme here on ITV Wales, which is all about encouraging people to make safer choices. So all these schemes, Katie, combined with what you have just seen in my report today, are there to protect people, keep them safe while still enjoying the festive season.
Yeah, lots going on to keep the streets safe this Christmas. Thanks very much, Issa. Now, more chance to let the train take the strain in North Wales. Services on the Wrexham to Chester line will be doubled from this weekend with 2 trains an hour. It's part of an £800 million spend, which will also boost services from Wrexham to Liverpool. The Welsh Government says it'll give more people a chance to use rail instead of roads. Ian Lang reports.
All aboard! All aboard! Cabinet Secretary for Transport and North Wales, Ken Skates, certainly didn't want anyone missing this particular train to let people know his transport vision for North Wales is well on track. 6 months into a wave of upgrades in North East Wales, with more to come along the North Wales coastline, he said they were living up to their promises.
So we made some huge pledges several years ago, and we've maintained the course, and we've been delivering £800 million of new trains. When we inherited The fleet from Arriva Trains Wales, we only had 270. It was the oldest fleet in Britain. We'll shortly have one of the newest fleets in Britain, and we're going to have more than 480 trains. And with Network North Wales, we want to make sure that we get to that point where there are metro-type services direct between Wrexham and Liverpool across the North Wales coast, and we're heading in the right direction.
They are big promises, and this young mum using the service said improvements were overdue.
I travel from Caergurley. I go to Liverpool quite a bit. I go to Flint, that's where I'm at today, and I go to Chester quite a bit. And the connections, because they're running late, you never make the other connection, which is a nightmare.
And for those in more official positions, it was all positive messaging.
They used to call this line the Cinderella line, and it's not the Cinderella line anymore. And I think it's been underinvested, and I welcome all the investment that we're putting into the Wrexham-Liverpool line, because it's much needed.
Next week we're doubling the frequency between Chester and Wrexham. By May next year we're hoping to uplift the frequency on the North Wales coast by 50%. That's an incredible achievement within less than 12 months of the programme.
And with an election looming, is there any chance of derailment?
Politically, things could change quite a lot. Things could change, but once you start building this sort of infrastructure, improving services, taking it in the right direction, it's very, very difficult to undo. And we've set up a really strong Wales Rail Board that spans both the UK government and the Welsh government. We have agreed on the pipeline. That pipeline is being worked up and developed and delivered, as we've seen today with some of the big investment announcements. It's so difficult then to press the stop button when you've made such great progress.
It's a big plan that at the moment appears to be running smoothly.
Ian Lang there. School leaders have called for urgent scrutiny on how £339 million of additional education funding has been allocated. The First Minister was asked about it during a scrutiny meeting today. Because the Welsh Government funds schools through local authorities, she suggested exact figures aren't known yet, but added other increases are currently being looked at. The union, NAHT Cymru, says the sector is crying out for answers.
We spend 7% more on education in Wales compared to England. So let's just be clear about that as a statistic. £1,850 per head, that's £128 more per head than they do in England.
Quick reminder, there is analysis on all of the week's biggest news stories in our weekly Substack newsletter. It lands in your inbox every Saturday morning and includes the very best of our journalism. Here is how to sign up.
Just scan the QR code on your screen now, where you can sign up on Substack. You only have to do it once, and after that, we'll automatically email you our weekly newsletter, where you can get more analysis and insight from our reporters on the biggest stories around Wales. It's completely free to sign up, and you can read it on your phone and tablet too. Just scan the QR code to sign up, or if you're already on Substack, just search ITV Wales.
Well, the weekend is just around the corner, but do stay with us as Ruth will have that all-important weather forecast. And how is it looking, Ruth?
Well, Katie, for much of Wales, it's actually looking quite Christmassy. Not for everyone, though, and there are warnings in force. I'll hopefully shine a little light on when and where in a couple of minutes.
Fingers crossed for wherever you are. An all-female choir from across South Wales is preparing for its first festive showcase event. The Hear Her Voice choir will team up with the Risca male choir at Newport Cathedral next week. They've been busy practising, but have also found the time to fundraise for Velindre Cancer Centre. Our reporter Mike Griffiths has been along to one of the rehearsals.
Well, there's some beautiful music at this rehearsal tonight. You can hear the choir called Hear Her Voice, who are preparing for a very special concert soon and raising money for a very important cause indeed. I'm pleased to say Jane and Wayne Griffiths, you can tell us more about it. Deeply personal, what this is for.
Very personal,
yes.
It's called the Rhian Griffiths Forget-Me-Not Fund, and it's in memory of our daughter at Velindre. She passed away in 2012 from cervical cancer, age just 25.
And this is the second concert that's been set up by this choir. They previously raised some money for it as well.
Yes, that's right. And we're very grateful for, obviously, Matthew Harrison, who is the kick-started this, and also to all the lovely people who volunteered to go in the choir and to play us a fantastic, it was a wonderful concert at the College of Music and Drama then, which raised, so far, it's raised £26,850.
Thank you both for talking to us, and let's hear from some of the people forming this wonderful choir. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Let's say this is drawn from women from right across South Wales, part of this. Lauren and Megan, people have got different backgrounds being part of this, haven't they? But it really brings together for a very good cause.
Yeah, so I've studied music before, and part of the reason why I wanted to do that is because I enjoy it so much, but also the opportunity it brings to bring people together from different backgrounds, and it shows that you could do fantastic things when you actually enjoy something.
It really does, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose even just between the two of us, Lauren is a trained singer. I haven't sang in a choir since I was, this high in school. But that's the beauty of being in a choir, is that, you don't have to be the best singer. You can come along and be carried by wonderful singers, but still get the same experience.
That was lovely, wasn't it? You're watching Wales at 6. Here's what's coming up after this programme.
Coming up, a man is found guilty of murdering his wife 8 years after he was cleared of that crime. Robert Rhodes was acquitted of the murder of Dawn Rhodes in 2017, but was retried after their child gave new evidence. We'll have the details. Strike action could collapse the NHS, the stark warning from the Health Secretary as flu cases continue to surge. And Taylor Swift opens up for the first time about the effect the Southport knife attacks had on her. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Now, Powys Castle is breathtaking at any time of year, but at Christmas it's even more spectacular. That's because the grand old country house is transformed into a winter wonderland with a wow factor. Well, Rob Shelley is lucky enough to be there tonight, and Rob, wow is definitely the word. Look at it.
I know, welcome to the Blackpool of Mid Wales. Admittedly, they don't have a 500-foot high tower, but they do have their fair share of turrets here at Powys Castle. I was thinking about putting my Christmas decorations up, and my string of fairy lights that run off 2 AA batteries look quite pathetic compared with this, I tell you. But anyway, for the next 10 days, this digital winter wonderland is an absolute reality. With me is Sarah Johnson from Powys Castle.
Hello.
And you've done this for it's about the third year you've done this now?
Yeah, this is the third year we've done this now, so it really seems to be gaining popularity as well.
You have basically established a brand new Christmas tradition and landed yourself with the fact you're going to have to keep on doing this because we all like it.
Probably, but yeah, people love it, so it's fantastic and we're really excited because it's the first night of it at the moment and it's going on till the 22nd of December. So.
One of the things I love about it as well is it kind of makes you look at the castle differently. It's a familiar shape, and yet when you see something beamed across it, you have a slightly different reaction to it, don't you?
It really does. It looks different, and every year when we do it, it looks different. This is a really fantastic show this year,
it's
really magical. It's amazing.
Well, I love the gentleman who actually designed a fiendishly clever design. You see the clock face going round at the moment. That idea of time and Christmas, because of course Christmas takes us back, takes us forward. It's a whole timeline of its own.
Totally.
It's one of adults put down their phones to watch this.
Absolutely, it's amazing seeing people's reactions. Everyone's really enjoying it. We've got everybody here, all sorts of people who've come to have a look, and it's just that timeless thing, Christmas, really. So it's beautiful on the outside, and we've also got really beautiful decorations inside
you've
as well.
got sort of audio visuals and stuff like that happening inside as well. Yes. I imagine one of the nicest times of the year, also one of the busiest time of years.
It is one of our busiest times of year, yes. So we know as we get nearer Christmas, it's going to get busier as well. So if anybody is coming for the evenings, I recommend coming sooner rather than later.
So you've got 10 days of this. We've got a perfect
dark night sky at the moment. Sarah, you will make lots of people find that little bit of light in the darkness. Good luck
Thank you.
for
We're
the
looking
next
forward
10
to it.
days. Bless you. And as we wander around with the noise, I don't know if you can hear Glenn Miller's in the mood behind us. I am slowly getting in the Christmassy mood at the moment. I'm not quite as dramatic as this statue here. But as the clock hand moves and you think of Christmases past and Christmas forward, put it this way, it was enough to actually make me stop and shut up for 5 minutes whilst I just watched the animation play. It's rather wonderful, this.
Rob, stay a bit longer and I think you'll be feeling very festive in no time. Thanks very much. Well, from the bright lights of Powys Castle to another landmark that's looking festive. But this one is in Cardiff and Ruth is at Butte Park in the city centre and it's looking lovely and colourful there as well, Ruth.
Katie, from north to south, it really feels like Wales is getting into the festive spirit. Although, Rob Shelley, what kind of Christmas lights you can power with 2 tiny AA batteries? I think you basically mean a light bulb. Now then, as far as the lights here in Butte Park are concerned, it's really rather stunning. Certainly enough to put us in the festive spirit. 2 kilometres of sparkly lights and all sorts of things that you can possibly imagine to light up your weekend. Come and visit. In the dark, it just feels quite magical. Slightly less magical though on the forecast front for parts of Wales as we head into the coming weekend. Let's get the yucky stuff over and done with, and we'll start by talking about weather warnings, because for northwest Wales as we head into Sunday and into Monday there is a warning for some very heavy rain. Not necessarily the amount of rain, it's the fact that the ground is already so saturated. Hills and mountains could be not particularly pleasant, but not looking too bad elsewhere.
Outbreaks of ancient sites will gradually settle into an evening of pizza plates al fresco. TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
So despite the fact there are weather warnings in force for the coming weekend, for much of Wales, you could be forgiven for wondering, well, frankly, what all the fuss is about. As we head through this evening and into the overnight period, it will remain calm and quiet. And under lengthy clear skies, particularly that little bit further inland here in Cardiff, for example, the temperatures are already dropping. So it could be cold enough for some for a little bit of grass frost. A slightly different story out towards western areas where you'll notice that breeze continuing overnight, particularly around coastal areas. So temperatures here perhaps just not dropping quite as low, and there won't be any possibility of mist and fog here, which could actually develop a little bit further inland. So then, as we wake to Saturday morning, shaping up really rather beautifully. That any frost will disappear, any mist and fog will lift, and for much of Wales we're looking at a dry, bright and beautiful day. Again, you'll notice that breeze out towards coastal areas, gusting 20-30 miles an hour. We could see gales across the far northwest, but a dry day with blue sky and sunshine. And the temperatures for the time of year still pretty mild, 12, maybe a 13. So actually quite pleasant conditions if you are heading out and about for your Christmas shopping. And as Issa said a few moments ago, but much of Wales partying, Christmas parties galore. So if you're out and about through Saturday night, again, it is looking calm and quiet. Might be worth taking a few extra layers though. The coat is out because it will be quite cold. But as we head into Sunday, not looking too bad at all. However, those warnings come into force because you can see there is a band of rain that's going to park itself across northwestern parts of the country. Slightly miserable conditions here with some heavy rain on the way.
TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
So unsettled weather into next week, but I'm not going to end on a negative. At 8 minutes past 4, the sun set earlier. That's the earliest sunset. From tomorrow, it sets a minute later. Every cloud, as they say, Katie.
Oh, always with you, Ruth. Thanks very much. And that's it. Hannah Thomas will have your late update after news at 10, but from all the Wales at 6 team, have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye.